find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Welcome to the Getting Down and Wordy podcast ad.
What do we do on this podcast?
Well, it's the first Edda musical podcast.
Can you try that again in real words so that people can understand?
Fine. We talk about the intersection of popular music and language.
Oh, can we also talk about Eurovision?
Okay.
Find us on Apple and Spotify.
We are a Podmoth Network podcast.
This podcast contains strong language and adult situations and may not be suitable for those who are easily offended. Welcome to the Fuck My Work Life podcast, where the work stories are real, the laughs are contagious, and most of us can agree that work sucks. So let's clock out and tune in. Welcome back to the Fuck My Work Life podcast.
Hey, everybody, I'm Kay.
And I'm Jay.
And this is the podcast.
And this is the podcast.
We've got a coffee break episode for you today. This is just a little short.
Should be pretty short.
Shower, grower. I don't know, man. It's a short episode. It's one that you could probably listen to on your lunch break, coffee break. Maybe you're baking on your break. You do you.
Who knows?
So Jay, do you know there's something going on in the world right now called artificial intelligence?
Yep, the old AI craze.
The old AI craze. It's everywhere. Apparently there are McDonald's somewhere in the US that don't have any employees. It's all run by, I guess, AI, robots, whatever.
Is it in the US?
Yeah, it's in like Texas or some shit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. A lot of companies are moving into using AI for certain things. There's the apps that are the AI chat boxes that are all the rage right now. There's a lot of TikTok filters that are supposed to be AI generating things and whatnot. It's everywhere. It's a hot topic.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. And it's kind of pertains to our podcast here. Is a lot of people, anytime any kind of new AI comes out, everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to steal my job.
Yeah.
The humans aren't going to have any work to do. I mean, I know we have heard that at our job many times.
Oh, yeah. Many, many times.
There's actually a really great episode of Casting Views where Dan and Leo Allen talk about AI and people's kind of overreaction to it. So that's a really good episode. Go check that out. Leo's very well versed in all that AI stuff. But that being said, we thought it would be fun to kind of have AI take over our show for a quick episode.
Yeah. Let's see what they got. Let's see what AI has had to deal with at work.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I downloaded the free trial of Chatbox, which is like an AI chat doohickey. I know there are definitely podcasts that use it to help them with topics and stuff for their podcasts. And I was like, well, let's see if this motherfucker can come up with some workplace stories for us. Spoiler alert, it didn't do a great job.
No, but we're going with it anyway.
We're going to read them anyway. So I'll read the first question. I asked it. And then if you just want to like go back and forth, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the bold is what I asked it, and then the other thing is their response. Okay, so the first thing I asked was, what are some weird things that happen to people at work? And they came back with some very, very general replies, and a lot of them I think we've covered already on the podcast, but its response was, as an AI language model, I feel like we should do this in a robot voice. As an AI language model, I do not have personal experiences, but here are some weird things that can happen to people at work. I'm not going to do that the whole time. That's weird. Number 1, accidentally sending an embarrassing email to the wrong person or group. Number 2, falling asleep during a meeting or presentation. Number 3, accidentally calling a client or coworker by the wrong name. Number 4, getting stuck in an elevator or bathroom. Number 5, accidentally spilling food or drink on yourself or coworker. 6, forgetting to mute yourself during a virtual meeting and making embarrassing noises. Yeah. Or, peeing in a courtroom call. Number 7. I feel like we've told that story on the pod before, right?
I don't know. I don't know if we have. We probably have. We've probably alluded to it, but
Yeah.
I don't know when that would. I don't know when that would have come up.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
Stay tuned for a future episode. We'll go into that story. It's not work related, but it's still funny. Okay. Number 7, accidentally sending a personal text message to a coworker instead of a friend. Number 8, walking into the wrong meeting room or office and interrupting a meeting. 9, accidentally setting off the fire alarm or sprinkler system. And 10, getting locked out of your office or building. So AI hasn't lived a lot. Apparently,
Yeah.
If these are weird things that can happen to people at work, I was expecting some crazy, disjointed thoughts and shit, but this was I feel like it probably just trolls Google. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how these fucking things work.
Well, it absolutely just trolls the internet and finds, I mean, that's the only thing it's going to have to go off of.
So that was the list that AI came up with for weird things that happen to people at work. All right, what did we ask it next?
So next, we asked it, tell me a story about getting locked out of an office building. Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Sarah who worked in I don't do AI voices very well, so I'm just going to read it.
Yeah, I might see if I can just do that post-production, make all the answers sound robotic. I bet you can do that in Audacity.
Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Sarah who worked in a large office building in the heart of the city.
Aww.
One day, Sarah was working late to finish a project that was due the next day. She was so focused on her work that she didn't realize how late it had gotten until she looked up and saw that it was already dark outside. Sarah quickly gathered her things and headed towards the elevator. But when she got there, she realized that the building was already closed for the night.
No!
She tried to use her keycard to access the elevator, but it wouldn't work. She then tried to use the stairs, but the door was locked. Sarah started to panic. She was alone in the building, and she didn't know how to get out. She tried calling the security desk, but no one answered. She tried calling her coworkers, but they had all gone home for the night. Feeling helpless, Sarah decided to try the elevator one more time. To her surprise, the elevator doors opened, and she saw a security guard standing inside. The guard explained that he was doing a final sweep of the building before locking up for the night, and had seen Sarah on the security cameras. The guard escorted Sarah out of the building and made sure she got safely to her car. Sarah was grateful for the guard's help and promised herself that she would never work so late again. From that day on, she made sure to leave the office before it was closed for the night.
I'm so glad Sarah learned her lesson.
So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
AI and all your taking over the people's jobs. We asked, tell me a story about getting locked out of an office building.
Yes.
And this one was about getting locked into an office building.
You dumb AI. And I did notice I was copying and pasting the bold text, and I forgot to change a lot of it. So it says, tell me a story about getting locked out of an office building 3 times for different stories. 4 different stories.
I just noticed that.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
Well, if AI was doing this, it would not have made that mistake.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one, I asked, the AI to tell us a story about someone sending an email to the wrong person. All of them start, once upon a time, there was a young man named Alex who worked in a large corporation. One day, Alex was feeling frustrated with his boss, who had been giving him a hard time about a project he was working on. In a moment of anger, Alex decided to vent his frustrations in an email to his friend, who also worked in the same company. Alex wrote a long, detailed email about how much he disliked his boss and how unfair he was being. He hit send without realizing that he had accidentally sent the email to his boss instead of his friend. As soon as Alex realized his mistake, he felt his heart sink. He knew that he had made a huge mistake and that there was no way to take back what he had said. He tried to recall the email, but it was too late. His boss had already seen it. Alex was called into his boss's office the next day. He was nervous and embarrassed, knowing that he had made a huge mistake. His boss was angry and disappointed, but he also understood that Alex was frustrated and stressed out. They had a long conversation about how to improve communication and work together more effectively. This is bullshit AI. Alex would have been fired.
Yeah.
After that incident, Alex learned to be more careful about what he wrote in emails and who he sent them to. He also learned the importance of being honest and open with his boss, rather than venting his frustrations to others. In the end, the incident brought Alex and his boss closer together, and they were able to work more effectively as a team. Aww.
Did this happen in like the future Mayberry, which is like
Right?
the Andy Griffith show?
Yeah.
Because it really sounds like it.
Yeah, this sounds like a 50s TV show where everything just goes
Yeah.
right after it goes wrong. Truth be told, Alex would be demoted, moved down to the mailroom, if not fired. It would not go this well.
So the next story, we asked AI, tell me a story about working in a toxic work environment. Once upon a time,
Every single one.
there was a woman named Sarah. Oh, Sarah again.
I think AI only knows like 3 names.
Yeah. There was a woman named Sarah who worked at a large corporation. At first, Sarah was excited to start her new job and eager to learn and grow in her career. However, she quickly realized that the work environment was toxic and unhealthy. Her boss was constantly criticizing her work and belittling her in front of her colleagues. Her coworkers were competitive and cutthroat, often sabotaging each other to get ahead. The company culture was one of fear and intimidation. Know a little something about that.
Right?
With employees afraid to speak up or voice their concerns. Sarah tried to ignore the toxic environment and focus on her work, but it was taking a toll on her mental health. She was constantly stressed and anxious, and she dreaded going to work every day.
She was trauma bonded.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One day, Sarah decided that enough was enough. She spoke to her boss about the toxic work environment and how it was impacting her mental health. Her boss dismissed her concerns and told her to toughen up and work harder.
That's right.
Feeling unsupported and undervalued, Sarah decided to quit her job and look for a healthier work environment. It was a difficult decision, but she knew that her mental health and well-being were more important than any job. After leaving her toxic job, Sarah found a new job with a company that valued and respected its employees. She was able to thrive in her new work environment and felt much happier and fulfilled in her career. The experience taught Sarah the importance of prioritizing her mental health and well-being, and she vowed to never work in a toxic environment again.
Aww.
Well, golly. So that was pretty toxic, AI. I feel you.
But another happy ending.
Yeah, I feel you. Also, another story from Mayberry.
Mm-hmm. Everything worked out great in the end. You're so positive, AI.
That's right.
Chat box, sir. All right, so at this point, I was kind of like, okay, fucking positive AI. I said, tell me a story that doesn't have a happy ending. And this is This is what it came up with. Once upon a time, there was a man named John who worked at a small startup company. At first, John was excited to be part of a growing company and was eager to contribute to its success. However, he quickly realized that the work environment was toxic and unhealthy. His boss was constantly micromanaging him and criticizing his work, even when he did everything right. His coworkers were competitive and backstabbing, often sabotaging each other to get ahead. Sounds very similar to Sarah's situation.
Yeah.
The company culture was one of fear and intimidation, with employees afraid to speak up or voice their concerns.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the same fucking story.
John tried to ignore the toxic environment and focus on his work, but it was taking a toll on his mental health. He was constantly stressed and anxious, and he dreaded going to work every day. One day, John decided that he couldn't take it anymore. He spoke to his boss about the toxic work environment and how it was impacting his mental health. His boss dismissed his concerns and told him to toughen up and work harder.
Jesus, it's the same exact fucking story. I wonder how it's going to end because I haven't read it.
Okay, just wait. Feeling unsupported and undervalued, John decided to quit his job and look for a healthier work environment. However, he struggled to find a new job and was unemployed for several months. The experience left him feeling defeated and hopeless, and he struggled with depression and anxiety. Despite his best efforts, John was never able to fully recover from the trauma of his toxic work environment. He struggled to find a sense of purpose and fulfillment in his career and in his personal life, and he never felt truly happy again.
That's the end?
No. The story of John serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of toxic work environments and the impact they can have on our mental health and well-being. It's important to prioritize our mental health and seek out healthy work environments where we can thrive and grow. Trouble is, AI, sir, John tried and he couldn't, and now he's just living in a state of constant depression and anxiety.
Yeah, on the brink of suicide. I honestly thought, like, oh shit, is this going to take a dark turn? Like,
I mean, it got a little dark. When I was first reading it, I was like, fuck, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, not always a Mayberry ending, but there does always have to be like a little moral at the end, moral of the story. So after I kind of got bored with the AI after that, and I was like ready to delete it, but I started fucking around with the settings, and I saw one of the prompts said, chat with the sarcastic, witty AI, and I was like, oh, okay.
Here we go.
So that's when we discovered Bob. You want to read the first one?
Yeah, I'll read the first one.
Okay.
And I'll also add that I don't know if there's ever been a guy named Bob that is like a good guy.
Yeah, I've only actually known a few Bobs in my life, and they were dicks. So yeah, sorry, Bobs that are listening.
They were dicks.
They were dicks.
We asked Bob, what's the best work story out there? Bob, oh, I don't know. Maybe the one where someone actually did their job for once? Just kidding. I'm a chatbot. I don't have any work stories. But I'm sure there are plenty of thrilling tales about people sitting at their desks and staring at their computer screens for hours on end. Exciting stuff. Yep, Bob's a dick.
Bob. So then I said, tell me a story about an annoying coworker. And Bob replied, the annoying coworker. We've all had one of those, haven't we? Let me think. Oh, I remember one guy who used to clip his nails at his desk. And not just his fingernails, mind you. He'd whip out the nail clippers and start going to town on his toenails, too. It was like a symphony of clipping and flying nail bits. Needless to say, it was not a pleasant experience for anyone within earshot. But hey, at least he had well-groomed feet, right? And I said, gross. And Bob said, yeah, it was pretty gross. But hey, at least it gave us all something to talk about during lunch breaks. And it was a good reminder to always wear shoes in the office.
Jesus Christ. So then we asked AI, what is the most epic way to quit a job? Bob responded, let me think. How about riding a unicycle through the office while juggling flaming torches and singing, I Will Survive? That should definitely leave an impression.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, Bob, when and if I ever quit my job. I'll have to learn how to ride a unicycle and juggle.
And juggle flaming torches.
Yeah. All right, and then the last thing we asked Bob was tell me a story about the person. I guess it's not really asked. I mean, I guess it's asked. We asked him to do something. Tell me a story about a person who has a really gross profession. I was trying to get some like good shit out of these AI chat boxes, and I don't know what to ask him. But Bob replied, "Oh, you want a story about someone with a gross profession? Well, let me think. Yes. There once was a man named Carl who had the most disgusting job in the world. He was a professional sewer cleaner. Every day, Carl would descend into the depths of the city's sewer system, armed with nothing but a hose and a bucket. That's all they gave him? Was a hose and a bucket?"
What is this, the 30s?
Right? He would wade through the muck and filth, scooping up all sorts of unmentionable things. What is he trying to clean out of the sewer? What exactly does he need to fish out of there? I don't understand this job. Ew. But Carl didn't mind. In fact, he loved his job. He said it was like a treasure hunt. Except instead of gold and jewels, he found things like used condoms and discarded fast food wrappers. And the smell. Oh, the smell was something else. Carl said it was like a symphony of stenches, with notes of rotting garbage, human waste, and industrial chemicals all blending together in perfect harmony. But despite the grossness of his job, Carl was always cheerful and upbeat. He said that someone had to do it, and he was just happy to be making a living. So there you have it, a story about a man with a truly disgusting profession. Aren't you glad you asked?
Jesus Christ, I feel like Carl is mentally ill.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean...
He enjoys fishing out condoms and fast food wrappers out of shit.
Condoms and human waste and industrial chemicals, and he's like, this is great.
Right? I still don't understand the purpose of Bob's job exactly. Why do the condoms and fast food wrappers need to be fished out of the shit? Can't they just live in the shit?
True.
And where does the bucket go? Where does the bucket of stuff he fishes out go? Back into the sewer? I'm very confused.
Oh, Bob probably takes that home. I mean, it's a treasure
got a collection.
Yeah.
Ew. Nobody go to Bob's house.
I don't think anyone ever did or would.
Poor Bob.
Poor Carl. No, it's Carl.
Oh, yeah.
Carl was the guy in the sewers.
Carl. I kept saying Bob. My bad.
Bob was the dick telling the story.
Yeah, Bob was the AI. Oh, okay. No one's ever been to Carl's house, I mean. Or don't go to Carl's. Anyway, whatever. That was AI. Anywho, drink, everybody. And that was AI taking over Fuck My Work Life.
Yep.
I hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah, good job, AI. You gave us a bunch of Mayberry stories. And it was basically the Andy Griffith show until Kay said, look, this is too much. Give me some sarcastic shit.
Yeah.
And then it was some dude fucking fetching condoms and shit out of a fucking sewer.
Or when you ask it to not give you a happy ending, then it's just like, he lived forever in misery. All right, dude. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your coffee break, lunch break, wherever you may be listening to this. Bye, fuckers.
Bye, fuckers.
Thank you for listening to the Fuck My Work Life podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please follow, subscribe, rate, review, and tell your friends. Send your workplace stories to fmwlpod@gmail.com or call our rant line at 310-818-3273 for a chance to be featured on a future episode. For more fun, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at FMWL Pod. You can also join our Discord community to chat with us and your fellow fuckers. We've got a Patreon where for $5 a month, you get early access to episodes, bonus content, and more. Grab yourself a t-shirt, pint glass, or yoga mat in our merch shop. All links can be found in the show notes. The Fuck My Work Life theme song is by Big Foss of the Chat Smash podcast. Remember, don't let the man get you down. Bye, fuckers.
Monkey is knocking out on the floor right now. He's such a baby seal.